Welcome to 10 Days to Your Most Authentic Self. The first episode today is going to be all about authenticity and also how you can use your authenticity to get paid to exist. But it's more about the, what is authenticity? How do I know when I'm being my authentic self? Is there one version of me or many versions of me? We're going to cover that sort of stuff. So first of all, there's a couple of different ways that I personally like to look at authenticity. We have the version of authenticity that people talk about in the sense of your most magnetic frequency. So when you're resonating in alignment with your mind, body, and soul, that, those parts of your existence are aligned and you are operating in a way that feels very authentic to your energy, to your desires, to the life that you feel you're meant to live here. You're speaking your truth. You have fantastic boundaries. You don't mind saying what's on your mind. You do what you can to be of service of the world, and you always put your energy first, that kind of thing. You're resonating at authenticity, when you're in that kind of state. You are resonating in alignment with the universe. And when you are your most unique, authentic expression of yourself, you are so magnetic because you are walking around in your potency. You're standing out so much that you are attracting everyone so much that is aligned with you and your energy, but then also you're repelling anyone who's not. And that's a really good thing. Like the more repulsive you are, the more attractive you are. And I'm not saying to go out and make yourself repulsive. I'm saying to be as you can be, and then be that as honestly as you can to yourself in the moment, and love yourself and be unapologetic, and that is automatically going to repel some people and attract a lot of people, okay? Then the other version of authenticity is just being authentic to yourself in the present moment, okay? So you could be like, all right, I'm on a spiritual path, I'm, working on being in alignment with the universe and everything like that, and working on my intuition, I'm working towards being, magnetic so I can manifest the life that I want, that's super aligned with me, that kind of thing. So you're on that path, which is essentially the authenticity path. It's the path home to yourself. It's the spiritual awakening. It's ascension. It's enlightenment. You're just connecting in with yourself at who you are in your authentic state. And when you are in your authentic state, you are connected into you, the universe, you, the greater whole, as a part of everything. You who is in every single person that you speak to, that kind of thing. Anyway, I digress. So the version of you that is energetically shifting and changing moment to moment, right? So in some, you might be walking down the street and it might feel authentic to you to be in a high energy, bubbly state. You've got a bit of a spring in your step, your hair's swinging around if you have long hair. And that feels like an authentic expression that your body wants to make in that moment, okay? So in that moment, you're being authentic. Then maybe there might be a scenario where you're sitting down talking with some people and someone says something that isn't super nice, but you love this person and you respect this person, so you want to be able to be honest, and you also love and respect yourself, so you want to be able to be honest. So the authentic thing to do in that moment, if you feel like practicing that kind of thing, would be to speak up and say something and be like, hey, I don't love that energy that what you just spoke from, like it kind of felt a little bit mean and we love blah, blah. So you know what I mean? That would be authentic. Or if you approach it later, like you still speak your truth about it and be honest, that's you being authentic, okay? Because something like a scenario that you were a part of didn't align with your morals, your values, your energy, it just didn't sit right. And then to become aligned so that it all does sit right, you can speak up. Or maybe, you just want to be more honest in everyday situations with people, not people pleasing so much, and actually speaking up and advocating for yourself and what you expect as your bare minimum, that kind of thing. Like basically being authentic moment to moment is what gets you to the point of resonating in your home state, your homeostasis of your authentic energetic signature, your state of magnetism and authenticity. So you practice the moment-to-moment authenticity, and that is always changing based on what's happening, based on how you're feeling, based on where you're at. So when someone says, just be authentic, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know how. Like, is there one version of me that I'm supposed to find? How do I find that version of me? Like, what do I even look for? Where do I even begin? Like, no, there's not just one version of you. You're a multidimensional being. Literally every present moment, every breath, there's like a new possible reality, a new possible dimension of you, depending on the choices that you make, that kind of thing. So there's so much to you. There's not just one version of you. So being authentic is basically like in all those micro moments, or any moment that you're present, that you have the opportunity to act in alignment with what your body is asking of you, what your energy is asking of you, your mind, your soul, all of that. And you make the choice to listen to those things and to do whatever action it is that you feel like you need to do. Maybe you just need to walk away. Maybe it's just time to go home and you don't want to dance until 2 a.m. Maybe it's time to say, hey guys, thanks for the coffee, I'm going. And everyone's like, what, so soon? You only just got here. And you're like, yeah, maybe you had some weird feeling inside you. And maybe you feel like it's not the time to like tell everyone about it, but I do not want to be here. And that's okay, like that's authentic, So you can use your discernment and understand when it's the right time to communicate something and when it's not. That's fine. You won't be like, if you're like, oh, I need to say this thing to this person, and you think, oh, but I don't want to do it right now. Am I being inauthentic? No, that's fine. You're saying to yourself, no, I will say something. It's just not the appropriate time. And so then you're choosing yourself in that moment. You're setting that intention, and then you follow through later on and you just fucking do it. You say the thing, whatever it is. And, you're showing yourself that you have this trust in yourself. You're showing yourself that you're able to look out for yourself. When you speak your truth, when you act in alignment with how you're feeling and with your morals and values, you're being authentic. Basically, like you're realizing the more you do this again and again and again and again and again, this is how you start to find the universe in everything, in everyone and every part of your own existence. Because you realize that there's so many things in your sensory input, in your body and your intuition. There's so many different parts of your existence that are communicating to you constantly about where to go, what to do, how to, like edging you towards your goal of this like beautiful dream life where you just get paid to exist, basically. And it's incredible because every time you act in alignment with one of the things that your mind, body, or soul are asking you to do, and you choose you're showing yourself that, hey, I chose myself and it worked out well. Maybe it's difficult at first, but that's okay. It always ends up working out well. So you choose yourself, it works out well. You choose yourself, it works out well. Guess what this is showing you? It's building this incredible self-trust. Then when it comes time to make the big choices, to shift out of the old reality into the new reality, you have such trust in yourself because you're like, well, I've always had my back. And then you realize that you are the universe, and it's like, oh my God, I've always had my back. Because the universe is speaking to you through you, because you are the universe. Does that make sense? So the more you listen to it, the more you actually action it, which is you being authentic to whatever is right for you in that moment, you are becoming more authentic as a soul signature and as a mind and a body and everything. And you are realizing more and more and more how much you are literally a part of the greater whole, and you've always had your own back. You can fully trust yourself. If you go, fuck, I want to create this reality where I get paid to exist and I've got so much money coming in and I've got an overflow of it, and I'm so generous with it, and I have fun buying things for my friends and family and helping people out, that kind of thing. Like, you can have that, and you can trust yourself that you can bring that reality in, because you've shown yourself again and again and again that you know how to listen to yourself. You know how to listen to the universe. You know how to collaborate with the universe. Okay? Don't even need the rest of the 10 days. Basically just got it all out there. No, I'm kidding. So the rest of, we're not done yet, by the way. I'm going to keep on going, but the rest of the other 9 days following this episode of this series of 10 days to your most authentic self, which, by the way, I'm celebrating 100 episodes of Esther's Universe podcast. Yay! One of my favorite things I've ever done in my entire life. I love it so much. So the podcast was how I learned this, right? Because if I'm constantly speaking my truth and constantly being vulnerable and constantly sharing my story, my wisdom, my personal take on things, that I've had to force myself to be honest again and again and again and again, whether I'm cringing at myself, whether I'm feeling so vulnerable that I feel sick, whether I'm feeling like, oh my God, should I take that down? Is everyone going to come and hate me? All those things, like I've just pushed through regulated myself, been there for myself, and done it again and again and again and again. And it helps me practice it out in my real life. And I practice things in my real life and I bring it back to it's all my real life, sorry. I mean, the life outside the recording area. And they feed into each other. It's like, anyway, incredible. Best thing I ever did. The podcast journey was basically holding hands with my authenticity journey the whole time. It was incredible. It continues. It continues. Anyway, so the other 9 episodes are going to be kind of things that relate to creating your dream life or stepping into alignment, understanding your energy, getting out of your own way, all these things. And the reason why these things are a part of, 10 days to becoming your most authentic self is because these are all different practices that help you align with your most authentic self. So if I'm going to do a quantum jump, who am I quantum jumping to? My most authentic self. You know what I mean? If I'm trying to regulate my anxiety really quickly and get back into flow with the universe, who am I getting back into flow with? My most authentic self. So there's going to be a really beautiful, vast range of things you're going to learn over the next 9 days. And I am so excited to share all of this with you because I'm celebrating, 100 episodes of one of my favorite things I've ever done. And I'm also about to launch a course for people who want to do exactly that, who want to step into their authenticity through creating and sharing a podcast. So it helps you with the mindset, it helps you with actually getting the podcast done and dusted and out into the world. It's a self-paced course. You can do it all in 10 days as well. And there's going to be an early bird sale for that. So the first 1,000 people to get the course are going to get 50% off. And then after that, it'll be back up to full price. So I've got a wait list. It's going to be in the show notes. So don't forget to check that out and pop your email in. And that way, when I go live straight after this 10-day series, you'll be able to get notified straight away. Anyway, so we'll get back to the point of why we came here. So authenticity and what was the other thing? Getting paid to exist. All right. So when you think about getting paid to exist, that's so broad and so vague, but I know a lot of people would love that life. And especially a lot of people who, find my podcast, we've usually got the same thing in common where we don't really want to live working the 9 to 5 forever. Or, we just want to be able to have a lot more freedom within our lives and be able to be more creative and, do things to help the world and just enjoy life because we all deserve it. Why not, So getting paid to exist, to make it a little bit more easy to understand and take it out of the giant cloud above your head, think about it this way. Think about it in the terms of your intellectual property. And by intellectual property, I just mean literally your thoughts, the way that you see the world, your experiences turned into wisdom, your life story, whatever it is. One challenge that you're going through, that you want to work through with people, that kind of thing. Who knows? Whatever it is that you want to talk about, that is your intellectual property, okay? And you can take your intellectual property and you can exchange that for money with people who need your intellectual property to better themselves, okay? So, or even if they're not trying to better themselves, maybe you're just really good at painting and you want to do a painting course and you have a really cool style and you like the way that you like what painting has done for you, maybe. And so you decide to make a series on a podcast or a YouTube series or a course or something that shows people how to do painting the way that you do it, and you also put in all these beautiful lessons that you gained from it on more of a spiritual level as well, or something like that, to add that extra bit of you into it. So that is just one example of so many. You could anything, literally anything that you are good at, that you could talk about until the cows come home, that you fully believe that has helped you so much in your life that you want to help someone else with, that kind of thing. You can just take one thing that floats around in your brain, literally one fucking thing. It could be one life lesson. It could be one, whatever it is, reduce it down to the tiniest one little thing. What do you know about that? How did that thing help you? How did you arrive to the position where you started doing that thing? What was your journey through that thing like? What's the wisdom that you've pulled from that thing? What are the ways that you know that thing has helped you that could help someone else? So you can take one little part of your existence And then you can use that one part of your existence that you could talk about forever, your intellectual property, and you can make that hold hands with your authenticity journey and say to yourself, I'm going to go on a personal mission of getting myself to a point where I release an XYZ to do with this topic. And the whole journey I'm going to use as a way to continue and accelerate along my authenticity journey, your journey to being able to just get paid to exist. Because when you're talking about that thing, like let's just say you start a podcast and you want your podcast to be about your life so far, the things that you've learnt, your spiritual journey, your main areas of interest, whatever. And you like to just talk about a bunch of different things on your podcast, but all in all, you're pretty much helping people through the process of jumping from one existence where you live this life and leaving that life behind and creating a new life. Well, not leaving the life behind. It's not like some people will literally go somewhere else, but you transform, right? So, sorry. So let's just say that is your podcast. That's actually pretty much the description of my podcast. Let's just say that's your podcast and you're talking about these things. You're being so vulnerable. So you're tuning yourself to feel safe with being open, right? So when you're vulnerable and you're doing something that, you're cringing at yourself and stuff like that, basically you're regulating, because you have to regulate to feel okay. So you're training your nervous system to be safe being seen in an open and raw state. When you're in a really open and raw state, you are way more magnetic because people can actually connect from their heart to your heart and your heart to theirs. This beautiful, infinite feedback loop kind of just starts between you and that person, just from them listening to the tone of your voice or the thing that you've said. So there'll be things in your life that really resonate with people, and there'll be parts of your story that really resonate with people. Sometimes it will just be the tone of your voice that will be incredibly healing and soothing for people. And whatever it may be, they are going to be able to connect with you and with your heart and with your authentic frequency because you're being vulnerable, because you're speaking from an open place, because you're not hoarding all of your struggles. Because you know what? Your struggles are not for you to put a big wall around and keep to yourself. They are for you to dig through and find the wisdom and turn it into gold. Duh. This is why we go through hard things, to pass it on. Because when someone goes through something hard and they successfully get out the other side of it and they gain wisdom, they have essentially helped nature in the evolution of the human species by making the path shorter and easier for everyone else so that we can keep ascending and keep evolving and keep, moving more in harmony with one another. So we're meant to turn around and give our information to people. We're not meant to hoard our struggles. When we find the better way to do something, that catches on, right? So, and obviously we are nature, we are evolution. Evolution is the universe, it's the same thing. Evolution is the greatest power, the greatest might, it's the same thing. Anyway, so your authenticity is what you can get paid for, okay? And to practice expanding your authenticity and becoming even more magnetic, connecting with people is the fucking fastest way to do it. Letting yourself be seen by people, getting your energy out there into the world, knowing that it's healing for others. Your existence is literally medicine for other people, okay? So even if you're having a hard time sharing, thinking about putting yourself out there for you, because maybe you're like, well, fucking who am I? No one cares, or there's not enough space for me out there, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that, that's not true. People really need what you have to say, and people are gonna care. And you will find the right people. You just have to do it again and again and again. Put yourself out there again and again, trial and error different things, find different ways that you enjoy expressing yourself, that you can have fun with and everything. And you will eventually release this energetic shield around you and your wisdom. And you're gonna let your energy out into the world and people are gonna find it and they're gonna be like, thank you so much. And you're gonna be like, oh my God, you're welcome. And you'll be doing something of service of the collective. It's bigger than you, okay? So it's really fun, you can get paid to exist. You can do things. You can put yourself out there in an evergreen course online or in a subscription to your knowledge or whatever it is that you want to do. And you can keep then feeding your attention and energy into it because it's so aligned with you. You believe it's going to help people. You know it's going to help people because it helped you so much. You understand the power of what you're doing, and so you're putting your energy behind it, you're talking about it, and you go on this like campaign for yourself, for the universe, for energy, for the collective shift, and you put love behind everything that you're doing, and that gains traction, that gains momentum. People get behind that shit. They're like, fuck yeah, I see me and you, and I am on board, thank you, you know? It's amazing. And then you start to get paid for these things because people are like, hey, I want more of you. I want your information. And then you're like, well, I value my energy, and to be able to use my energy and grow it bigger and bigger and bigger and heal more of the world, I need to make sure that my basic needs are met. So I need to make sure that my bills are paid. I need to make sure that I'm living abundantly, and I only give from overflow of energy. You know what I mean? So you have to look after yourself, put yourself first. Do not be a martyr. Do not fucking throw yourself down as a doormat. You need boundaries. You need to charge for your information. Obviously, give a lot away for free so people can find you and get on board with what you're doing and know what you're doing. Like if you listen to the rest of my podcast, like everything is in there. I give away everything for free. The courses and everything like that are just when I condense it all down into one little area that you can easily access and just work through from start to finish, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? But I give it all away for free at the same time for those who want to comb through it. So, you know, like you gotta value your energy and charge for it. You don't have to charge a lot if you don't want to. You can do whatever you like, or you can charge heaps. Like whatever it is that you want to do is completely fine. Never feel bad about that, because when you have abundance coming in, you're able to spread your beautiful, authentic energy further and wider. You're able to do more. You're able to create more of a life and share more. Good people with good hearts need to be influencing others, earning a lot of money to actually be able to expand and also, you know, have a beautiful life, encourage others to do the same, that kind of thing. And I can't remember what else I was going to say. Anyway, today I want you to practice something. I want you to try and go and be as honest as you can, okay? Be as honest as you can, even if it's to yourself, all right? So let's just say you got work, or you're going to go catch up with friends, or you just want to go for a walk and just put yourself around people, like maybe go to a cafe or something like that, where you know, may or may not interact with others. And when someone asks you like, hey, how you going or whatever, tell them how you're going. Don't be like, don't put on your customer service voice and be all like, yeah, good. I'm great. Like, how actually are you? Tell them, be honest. Let people in some way. Or, you know, maybe someone's like, hey, do you want to come and get a coffee? But you don't want to, but you don't really know how to say no to people yet. Today's your day. You're going to practice it. You're going to be like, if you don't want to go, you're going to be like, no, thanks. I don't really feel like it. I'm going to protect my energy and stay in today. And then just, that's it. You can be nice about these things, but be honest, however you like. And then the other thing is, if you're not in a scenario, if you can be honest out loud, maybe there's a situation where you're like, okay, I don't yet know how to verbalize this out loud, but I'm setting the intention right now to be honest with myself. Do I like this situation that I'm in? Do I like this person I'm talking to? Do I like how I feel right now? Like whatever it is, whatever you're in, be honest with yourself. Be like, is this in alignment with me? Does this feel true to my soul? Do I feel like I'm pushing myself beyond my limits? Do I feel like there's probably a better life for me out there? Like that kind of thing, you know, be honest with yourself as much as you can, more than anything. And then the times when you feel comfortable practicing it, be honest out loud as well. So that's your task. That's going to help you along your journey. So obviously that's, you know, day 1 of 10 days to authenticity, but you have to practice it again and again. You can't just do it for one day and be like, tick, done. Like this is now the beginning of you being more honest with yourself and everyone else. Okay? Commit to it. Let's do it. All right. I am finished for today. Come back tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Please join the waitlist for the course, for the podcasting course. It's going to launch the day after this series. Also, if you feel like reaching out to me on the podcast or on social media and give me a big old virtual hug for reaching 100 episodes of Esther's Universe, I would always love that. Well, almost 100 episodes. That's what we're moving towards. Anyway, I love you so much. Thank you for listening, and see you tomorrow.